Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. So, today I wanted to just go over my layout from the Summer Gnomes collection. Let me show you the papers. As you can see, it's very pretty. It's got gnomes, beach theme, it's got bikes. On the flip side, it's this pretty like pool and summer fun. It's got ice cream volleyballs and floaties. You also have this other pattern paper, which is about chasing the sunset, splish splash, and then this lovely watercolor wave pattern. Um, and then you have this pattern paper and this boats paper. And of course, we have these fantastic zip strips, right? That also you can cut off and use in your layouts or on your cards. Now, the coordinating colors with for this paper packet, Close to My Heart packet is Ballerina, Journey, Lagoon, Lemonade, Rosy, Sundance, and White Daisy. I skipped over charcoal because I did not use that at all. And I did use Ballerina, Journey, Lemonade, Rosy, Sundance, and White Daisy cardstock. But you'll get to see the layouts now. Look how pretty that is. All right, so the inks, you could use a Journey. I decided to use Night of Navy, which is a Stampin' Up color. And of course, we used Journey. We used the pattern paper, the nice watercolor pattern paper. Now, you're probably wondering, where did this come from? Well, this was a die cutting set from Close to My Heart called Baseline Alphabet, and it was a really big one. I cut it down to size so I can fit my 6x6 pattern. And this is the kind that you're supposed to be able to go like this, okay? And you can use this for your scrapbook. It's designed for scrapbooking, but of course you can use this for cards as well. And it did not come in this 12 by in the 6x6 envelope, but I did order some before they went out of business. Okay, so so that's where this came from. These letters came from. However, if you purchase the paper kit with the stickers, go ahead. You can use the stickers. There's relax, enjoy. There's I think a few other sticker sayings. I did not order the stickers because I knew I wanted to make my own embellishments. I did use black, so go into more in detail about the measurements and how did I create this. I did use, of course, this is currently still available on the website. I did check today, and that's Gnomes for Summer. And look how stinking cute he is, as you can see here. Now they use a lagoon here for the color, and I used Journey because I was already using that cardstock. I did use Sundance for that. Rosy, I did not use red. I used Rosy and Ballerina. That is the other side because, as you know, our the Close to My Heart cardstock is a two tone. So I used the flip side, and of course I used a little scrap of black that I had, and of course White Daisy. And I had a circle punch. I just glued it and then hand cut it. Now here's the bonus. You could use, if you happen to have, you know, anyone who was part of enjoyed Close to My Heart, this was the last of the Gnomes series. So this one was Spring Gnomes. If you remember Spring Gnomes, you could have easily used the female for that one. And this was one of the cards that I made, if you remember, a while back. Okay, this is the Winter Gnomes. Let me show you the picture of that one. Okay, that was the Winter Gnomes. And then you have your Autumn Gnome. And it usually came like this. Okay, and I made a Santa Claus from one of these. So I had this one very easily and handy. So I decided to use this one. Why? Because I like the hat. I guess I could have used this one, but I just thought it was really fun and tall. And what I did is I used the pattern paper, right? I used the pattern paper from the cardstock. the ones that has this, because we only use a little bit of a strip of that for the clothing. So this side, so that's what I use, and I cut it out of the die set. Of course, I use black, a scrap of black, and of course, this is the same color cardstock. That's the ballerina, and again, Sundance and Rosie. Now, I didn't worry about the flower. I just cut an extra piece of the drink, and then of course I cut out an extra hand and layered that right on top. So that's how I created, I did use this. These were the feet. I didn't need to do that. I just cut the whole body out of, let me show you this die set. This one is not available. You would have to have the previous one. So I used like white, and then I cut it out in strips to make the Santa Claus. So I did use this. I cut this out of Battle Arena. I didn't worry about this part. I did cut out the nose and the hands. This is the nose, and this was the hands, these two hands. Apologize. Um, I do apologize about that. Thought I turned off my phone, which I didn't. All right. So, and of course, I use this for this part. I used white, and I just cut a little strip right there for the hat. And of course, I use this out of pattern paper for the hat. So that's how I constructed the female gnome. However, nothing says that you can't use any of your other die sets, of course. You could have easily used her, right? That would have worked. I would have probably taken out, instead of using the umbrella, you could easily have used the drink, right? That would have worked just as well. And of course, she has this pretty little border as well. So you could have made that in lieu of the one I used. But I used the autumn one. I don't know. I just remembered that I had the autumn one, and I figured, hey, I bet I can make a female out of this. And so I used her. All right. Let me show you how I constructed the gnomes here. Okay. All right. Now this is what came with the gnomes, and debated whether or not to give her sunglasses, but I chose not to. Let me show you this again. Okay, so we have our sunglasses. So I created the base in black, and then this in yellow, this in rosy. This was again also in ballerina on the lighter side. This is the nose, so I just flipped it to the other side. These were in rosy. That's for the slippers, and of course the drink. I made it out of yellow, and then the drink, I don't know, I guess it's the blue Bahama or whatever for the drink. And so that's how, and of course white daisy white cardstock for the beard. And I just noticed he doesn't have another arm. That's kind of funny. He doesn't have an extra arm. I guess I could have made an extra arm for him on this side, but I didn't. So he has only one arm. So this is how it looks when you put the pieces together. I usually, whenever I cut extras, I like to put them in the little Ziploc bag that it comes in. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the base. Okay. This is in rosy, so I'm going to glue that right on top. I recommend using the wet adhesive. Okay. Um, this is the hand. Let me get my handy dandy tool here. This putty is really helpful. This is the hand that's going to go on top. So, and of course, and then you have your sunglasses. So I would glue that on first, the hat first, then I glue the sunglasses. The last thing I normally glue is the slippers. Okay, so the wet glue would be very useful. Then I'd glue this on top. Of course, you could use some kind of metallic as well if you want to have it very reflective. This is the nose, the oval, which we're going to So before you put this, so we're going to put the hat, glue the hat down. Then, of course, the white beard. Then the glasses. Then the nose. Okay. Let me get the putty back. What other pieces I have? I have the umbrella. The other sandal. I did use an extra on for this, so I guess I could put that right there. All right, and then I'd glue this on this like this. Let me grab this part out. This is the actual hand. It goes on top. This is the umbrella. So you want to glue the umbrella first. All right, and so that's kind of how I layered it. So first do the white beard, then the hat, then the black, then the glasses. I would glue the the c- the umbrella first, then the cup, then the hand, and then of course lastly I would glue the sandals and then the nose. So that's how we constructed the guy, the the gnome here. This is why I like this, because I don't have to worry too much. All right, so that's my little gnome fella. I like gnomes. Anyone who I really like gnomes, so that was really fun. And the thing is, I will probably continue to use this die set in my everyday crafting to just do different seasons, different pattern papers, because I just think it's so awesome. All right, so there you go. And it is pretty versatile, right? As you saw, I use the autumn gnome and created Santa Claus, right? So I could probably create a Mrs. Claus next time, right? So there we go. We have, this is how we created the gnomes. All right. So the difference is I just put the drink on this hand because she has, normally that's where she would hold the umbrella. And that's why I picked her. Now, I wanted to share with you, this is very important. If you notice that the paper that I used here was pink, just because I wanted to break up all that blue and, you know, bring and just kind of make it a little fun. And I made sure that the bottom was actually the blue. So let me show you what I mean by the pattern paper. All right, so right here you see this bottom pattern paper. That's this side. And then I decided to hand cut, that's right, I hand cut the top of this. Then I went back and with my trimmer, cut this straight. And then I looked for my next round line and I found, I think I used the top one. Yep, I did. And I turned around and looked at here and I said, yeah, I think that one will look really good. So what I did is I took this middle section. I skipped over the middle and I took this middle section, cut the blue in a straight line with my paper trimmer, and then I hand cut this pink curve. And then I glued that to the bottom of my daisy white cardstock. Okay, so this, you're going to hand cut this pink, just to reiterate. Then you can hand cut this pink here, and then you're going to straighten it out. So this is actually about, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 inches. And I'm just going to double check that with my handy dandy ruler here. Yep, 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches in width at the bottom. And this, I did use an 1.5 inches, if my memory serves me correct. Yep, 1.5 inches. I think I would do a little bit larger. I would use 2 inches personally, but I did use 1.5 and 1.5. So that's how we used this pattern paper. And then you're going to have lots of extras left over. That's going to be good because I'm going to show you a second layout with the extras. So we're going to go through that together. All right, so for this, you're going to cut, I cut normally 3 inches, and then I cut that in half at 1.5. Okay, that's how I got that strip, and I glued that right in the center. Now for this, I used Journey. Now you're going to have a lot of leftovers, right? You're going to have a lot of leftovers, which is great because you can make cards and we're going to make another layout. So that's going to be fantastic. Like I said, this was from this die set. So I'm going to put that aside since we're not going to be working with that right now. Like I said, you can substitute it with your stickers. For this, I used the clouds that was Take to the Skies. That's a Stampin' Up stamp, and I use Night of Navy. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. What I would recommend you do is using a blending brush or sponge and just create with a light brown, excuse me, a light blue, and just kind of create a nice faux sky. All right, so that's that. Now let me give you the measurements for the journey. For the mat is 4 1/4. I believe that's going to be 5.5. 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then the photo mat is 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and this is going to be in Journey cardstock. I'm gonna have to turn my phone off. There, turned it off. All right, and then this one is going to be 4 1/4 by, I believe it's less than that. 4 1/4 by, nope, 4 1/4. So I'm going to do 2 in that size, and I know this one has a different size. This one is, nope, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So these are 3, and I believe there's possibly a fourth one. Oops. I know this one's a larger one. That is going to be 4 1/4. And I had these written and I thought it was scrap and I trashed it. And this is going to be 4 1/4 by, so we're going to have 4 with this size. Okay, 4 photo mats in Journey at 4 1/4 or 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So you're going to have 4 of those. And then this one's a much larger one. This should have been a 5 by 7 if my memory serves me correctly. This is, yep, 5 1/4. The mat, sorry, let me go to the Journey. Journey's 5 1/2 with by 7 1/2. Yep, by 7 1/2 or, okay, so we're only going to use one of those. And then for each of the photo mats, it's just going to be 1/4 for the photos. It's going to be 4 inches in width by 5 inches in height, or 4 by 5. So we're going to have 2 at this size and 1, 2, and 2 on the other size. 5 by 4. Okay, so we're going to have, for photos, we're going to have 2 that are going to be 4 inches in height and in width by height. Okay, so you're going to need 2 photos that are 4 by 5 and 2 photos that are going to be 5 by 4. Okay, and then you're going to need a photo that's 5 by 7 for this piece. Now you can change the orientation of your pictures if that does not meet the kind of photos that you have. All right, so you can get all of these mats out of one cardstock. And the way you do that is you're going to first cut the 7.5 by 5 first. So I'm going to cut it by 5 inches. Excuse me, I'm going to cut it by 7 inches in yeah, 7. I cut it by 7 inches. 7, I'm sorry. Let me think about this. Yes, it was 7.5 inches. That's going to give me enough for 2 mats here and 1 mat here. And then I use the second one. I did use a scrap. So actually you use 2 Journey cardstocks for that. I do apologize. All right, next we're going to create a different layout from this one because this was very simple. I just gave you the measurements so you can go ahead and do that. I did want to create a different layout, and I wanted to go with an oldie but goodie. Oh, I put it over here. And this is from Make It From Your Heart, Volume 6, pattern number 11. So if I go into the front of this, let me see, pattern number 11. It allows for 2 photos, right? Now you'll see one that looks a very spring-like, and you have another one that looks very much a winter theme, but it doesn't matter. You can choose your photos. Now, if you don't want to use a journal that big, of course, you can use other photos. So let me go ahead and I will guide you. Let me take these out. I will guide you on how to cut these pattern papers. And this you're going to need, it says 1 pattern paper, which is basically you're going to need 1 large pattern paper. All right, so we'll show you how to make that in a second. Let me move this out of the way. We're going to use Daisy white cardstock for our base. Okay. For the center, let's see. For the center, I have 2 of these left. So I'm thinking that we can use this paper and this will go across. All right, let's go ahead and now we can modify this, come to think of it. Let me see what else we have here. We have this. Now you can use either side. You could use this side or this side. I think that's perfectly fine. I am going to use the water because I just think that really matches with this pattern paper. I'm going to get my paper trimmer right now. I'm just using this sketch for inspiration only. This is telling me A should be 9 by 12. Sorry, my hair is seriously shedding. This was my hair. This is so funny. Okay. I can't believe how much I'm shedding here. Okay. Okay, so we've got 1.5 of this pattern paper. And let me check to see the measurements of this paper, just because I want to make sure that we could use this as a letter C even. So that's 7 inches. Okay, because this needs to be 5.5 by 10. So we could technically use this. All right, so I am going to use this as letter C. This is going to be a letter A and E, so let's cut that first. So letter A is going to be 9 by 12. Actually, we need a C. We need an E, sorry. 9 by 12. So instead, I'm not going to use that third paper then. Oh, I know what I can do. I don't know why I didn't think about this. All right, I know exactly what I'm going to do. All right, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. Move everything out of the way. We're going to do something. We're going to do a modified version of this. So I am going to cut this, and width has to be, first we're going to cut the zip strip off. Okay. Now we're going to have a few strips of these left. So once you cut your gnome's paper, you're going to have something that looks like this, all right? This is what you're going to have left. Okay. We're going to cut, so this one is going to be, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to use this at the bottom, like so. And we're going to use this at the top. So we're going to cut these at 9 inches each in width. So this is what you're going to have left over after you create your, okay, we're going to use this like this. Actually, maybe I could do it like this. Okay. We're going to cut, so the total of this is, put these two together. If I put these two pieces together, it's going to be 7 inches exactly. So I'm going to cut 7 inches this way. Okay, I'm going to put this away. I'm not going to need that. That's my scraps. And then I'm going to cut this at 9 inches for the width. This is a scrap. And then we need to cut some paper. So this one should be, right in here. This one's 2.5 if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yep, 2.5. So we're going to cut this at 2.5. And that should match this one. And this will be for the top. Okay. So here we have our top and we have our bottom. We have our top and we have our bottom. Let me turn it this way. Top and our bottom. Okay. Now we're going to do the middle section, which is out of this pattern paper. This pattern paper will be, and he used a solid here. We could use a solid, absolutely, but I'm going to use a pattern paper, and that would be letter B, which is a 10 by 10. So we're going to cut 2 of these at 10 by 10. Get this out of the way real quick. Excuse me. This is a 10 inches there. Turn it around. It's going to be 10 inches here. And I'm going to cut another one here. 10 inches. And again at 10 inches. And I still have plenty here. Okay. So now we have our center pieces. We have our bottom and top. And we have our center pieces. Just like so. Okay. And then we need a C, right? That's this part, the center swatch here in the middle. Okay, and that is going to be 5.5 by 10.5. It's actually a good idea to actually use a different color. Now you can pick a color from this. Now we have, and these are our colors that we should have left over. Okay, we have rosy. I don't have a lot left. I think that blends doesn't blend well. I think rosy would be best suited, or you can use this blue. This is the Journey. All right, so let's take a look. I'm just putting all my scraps in one place. All right, so I think I'm going to use, like I said, the Journey. It's going to require a couple of pieces. We said it's going to be 5.5 by 10.75, and G as well. G is this part, which I don't really. All right, so I'm going to just do one. I'm going to do 10.5 by 5.5. So let's do that first. So that would be 5.5. And then I'm going to open up my little arm, and it's going to be 10.5. Okay. And so that's going to go right across here for one of the sides. And the other side is asking for 5.5 by 8.5. So let's see how wide this thing is. It's not quite 5. So that's not going to work. Let me see here. 5.5 by 8.75. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. I am going to modify it. So I'm just going to cut this. This is going to be at 8.75. Only because I want it to use my scraps, so we're not going into our stash. It's going to be for page 2 for this side of the journal. And then we need photo mats, right? It says here we can put photos. See, we can put photos, and they use a different cardstock for that. I'm going to use, we can use, personally, I think what'll really pop is, we could use pink. Yeah, let's use this one since we have a lot left over. And that would be Photomat 4x6, 5x7. So that would be D and H. I'm going to cut it at, first I'm going to cut it at 7 1/4. Seven and a quarter by 5 1/4. Oops. Get my scissors. It's easier to just snip it. Okay. And then the next one would be H, which is 6 1/4. 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And that's our second photo. All right. We still have a few scraps, which we can, again, use for cards. So I'm going to move all my scraps out of the way. Okay. So the photos are going to go like so and like so. Looks pretty close, right? Just move this over here. Let's see if I can stand this up. Perfect. All right, so we're going to need our wet adhesive. Move this aside. I'm going to do the left side first. And I am going to guess I could use my ruler to make sure I got everything centered. Okay. So I'm using my wet adhesive here just because I want to make sure that it's forgiving. So the only thing you're going to probably need to add to this is your white cardstock, which a lot of people have. Yep. So we want to make sure that this is lined up the bottom nicely, and I'm just going to put my ruler here. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay. And then we're going to put this one down. They both look pretty good, don't they? Look, I could use either one. It looks pretty fabulous. But I know I cut it. Wow, I'm starting to like this side better. How funny is that? No, I said I was going to use the other side, so I'm going to use the other side. I'm more likely to be at the pool than on the beach. This summer just flew on by. All right, here we go, even though it's very hot. Okay. And I didn't have to use so much cardstock. I just needed a little bit. So that's easy peasy. And you can choose whichever side you want. I'm going to use the darker side. Oh, I used it. Guess what? Ah, okay. No. Okay. Trying to get the dark side first. Okay. And this is good to use a solid because it's going to help rest your eyes on your pictures. And there's usually water in the background. And the red is going to, or the rosy is going to really help bring your eyes focus down. You could use a black or even a white photo mat as well if you don't have any more rosy. Okay, and then this is where my title will go. And so we did one side already. Let's work on side number 2. Okay. All right, let's start at the bottom. Where's my ruler? Kind of helps me position everything straight. Flip this over. I don't know how big your space is, but I've actually downsized, so my work surface is actually a lot smaller than I'm used to. So when I go to a crop, I feel like a queen. Look at all this extra space. I used to use a 6x6 table. Now my desk is at least 5 inches. 5 feet. I mean, can you imagine 5 inches? That would be so terrible. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the top. Just want to make sure it's straight. And it is. I used my ruler there. Good. All right, then we're going to use this here, right? And you can use either side since they're all coordinating colors. That's the beauty of this. It's like I like both sides. I really do. I really like both sides of this paper. It's terrible, but I can't. Now let me move this a little bit closer so I can. Yeah. Okay. And then this is going to go, this is the darker side, like this. And then this is going to go like this, right? Yes. I almost want to do it the opposite way. I almost want to go like this and put the journal over here. Interesting. Very intriguing. What do you think? Actually, I was going to go like this. Okay. Let me flip this over. Now, the other thing is if you don't want to put a journal, you can put smaller images, smaller pictures. Actually, it should be lined up with the pattern paper. Okay. You can put smaller photos. You can put 2 small 3x3 photos. That will work as well. So if you want to do that, you can. Okay. And let me this over. Try to do as close to this. Now you can put now different kinds of embellishments, titles, and you get to decide where you want your title. So there you go. There's 2 pieces right there. Now we can decide, where did I put my gnome fella? Okay. 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 So we have plenty left over. You can create another gnome. You can create some titles. You can use your stickers at this point and then just put your pictures and your title on here and any embellishments that you would like. But here is very quick with your scraps. Let's make a card. We still have another, want to spend another half an hour to make a greeting card. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask. All right, so we still have a whole sheet of this, and I think this would be really great to, and we still have a sheet here. We have some really nice scraps here. Look at this. Got a lot of great scraps here. All right, so let's see. Now, this is part of my creative process. I just look at what I have. Look at that. So these are the patterns that I have. Okay. Not bad. And of course, I've got some steady cardstock, so we can do quite a bit with this. The other thing I'm going to suggest is that you grabbed your coordinating stamp. If you got any stamps that came, that you also purchased when you bought the kit during the exclusive offer, now's the time to grab those. What do I mean by that? This is a great one. I know there's another one on sale that's available. This is Sending Love. Hello, big thinking of you. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And let's make some cards. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, this one's non-directional, so that's good. First thing I'm going to do is, let's see if I have. Let me grab this. I'm going to cut this in a 6x6, okay, just to make things a little easier, because if you have any 6x6 pattern paper, you can do the same thing with this. Okay, so now I've got 2 6x6 pattern papers. Let's make sure, nope, it's a little bit taller than 6x6. Let me fix that. Okay. Okay, so I am going to take these little extras and put it aside. And I am going to, just for my own curiosity, I am going to look at a sketch on page 22. This is from the new annual catalog. And there's lots of sketches down here, and I've done a few already. As you can see here, I think that this one would look really cute. This one looked really nice as well. I think I've done this one already. And let's go ahead and create that one. I think that's the one I want to do. Looks very interesting. So I'm going to take one of these. Okay, now looking at the sketch, I'm going to assume that we have a standard cardstock. So let me grab another white cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 5.5. And I'm going to cut 1 inch. No, 5.5 by 8.5. 8.5. And then we're going to fold this in half. And we have an A2 standard card, basically. Okay. All right, so we're still going to need this. So that's the card base. And I'm going to do a couple of these. 1, 2. These are 1-inch strips. Okay, so I'm basically gonna go like that. Now, obviously, I need to cut these down some more, and I need to cut these down. So if it's 5.5, so I need to do it no more than a 5.25. Well, I guess I could do 5. Well, I'm going to do it as a turn it this way, 5.25. Nope, 5 inches. I was right the first time. I'm going to cut this at 5 inches. All right, so here we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm looking at the third sketch coming in. All right, now if we have, let's see here, looking at my scraps. Okay, looking at my scraps. Now, right here is showing that, if you notice that it's getting wrapped. So I can modify this. I can actually, let's see. Let's see how much, I don't have a lot of blue left. Let's see. Maybe I can have fun. Maybe I can do blue and pink. Or maybe I can use a darker pink. Let's see. I think yellow will be too bright. Let's see. That might work. Nah, I think I'm going to go with, I should have some blue. So this is something I do whenever I have extra scraps of cardstock. I actually put them in these envelopes, and then I just grab a scrap instead of cutting a whole new piece. So I've got a lot of different shades of blue here. I just grab them and see which one makes sense. Right? And some of them are close to my heart and some of them are not, because I've collected these for quite a while. If that would work. Let me see. Would this work? Guess it could, but I don't love it. All right. When all else fails, I pick a different color, like a green. Let's see. No, not green. Let's look at a gray. Neutral color. It's black. Here's gray. I think gray might work better. Yeah, I think that'll work much, much better. So I have gray here. Look at that. I think that might actually work. It's a nice, soft color. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to be happy with that. I could use black. That's a neutral color as well. Or I can just go with the pink because I think the pink is also really pretty. So I'll do one with the gray and one with the pink, and you guys can tell me which one you like best. I almost think the pink is pretty. Almost reminds me of. So for this, we're going to do 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so that's going to be like this, and then we'll glue these on here. And same thing with here. We're going to make sure that this is 4 inches, which it is, by 5 1/4. Okay. All right. Now that I've cut all these up, let's get this out of the way. And I am going to glue this on here. So let's flip these over and put some glue down. So we start with the outer ones first. That's just me, the way I do things. Some people like doing them in an order, first, second, and third. I just do that because that way the spacing kind of works out. Okay, so that's for this one, right? And we need to put a ribbon according to this sketch. Let me show you that real quick. And there's a ribbon here. So I am going to grab some ribbon and a bunch. And so this is the Stampin' Up diet, and all right. So now if you have twine, you can use twine. I'm going to cut this ribbon. Here, keeps getting in the way. Okay, now I can cut that down. All right. Okay, here's my card base. Look how pretty that is. I particularly like using glue dots to secure my ribbon. So I like to put it like right around where the knot is. I recommend mini dots, not I've got the large one right now. And then I put some in the back where the ribbon is. That keeps everything secure and so that the ribbon's not rolling around. Ouch. All right, so that's good. All right, and now I can glue all this down. I'm gonna have to, I'm having trouble with my hand. So squeezing is a little hard for me right now. Okay. All right, so we've got this. Now you get an option. If you have a circle punch or this is the newer one, the hexagon one, then you can go ahead and I have a scrap, so I'm going to use it. Got some scraps, I'm going to use it. This one has a circle, so I am going to use, this is the outer one. I'll go this way, I think. If you're wondering how I made the sun, that's what I did. But you could, and then I need a scrap of white. Here's a scrap of white. And we just kind of okay. All right, so we can use this one. I kind of like layering it personally like this. And we have this sentiment here, which says, send you love, happy birthday, thank you, your kindness is appreciated. You can do thank you in the front and then your kindness is appreciated. So I think I'm going to do that for this one. Yep, I think I'm going to do just that. If I wanted to use some of the larger ones, I guess I could have stamped it on here, so that would work. Or not that one, but send you love. I could use that one. Your kindness is appreciated. Let's see if birthday would fit. Birthday would fit, so I could do happy birthday on the larger ones. So I am going to go ahead and first thing I like to do is put some foam dots on the back or strips. This one's not three-dimensional, so okay, I know for a fact got Bluebird here, so I think I'll use that one. And I know I had a block here, but some reason I don't see it. Guess I could use that one. What did I do with my block? Here it is. I knew I had one. Okay. So I'm going to do thank you. Now I recommend you get a scratch paper. I've got the scratch paper here. Put this underneath. And I always recommend, conditioning it first, right? This out of the way so I have a little bit of space here. Same thing with this. Trash. Okay. Okay. Tap, tap, right? That looks kind of cool. Okay. Okay, so first try worked out. Get that out of the way. I think I'm going to put glue dots on this one. And the reason being because I know it'll stick to even this fabric. Okay. If you have 3-dimensionals, that would be great too. So it's pretty simple. I can always put some embellishments like some gems and things like that. But I think that's a simple card to make with your scraps. As you can see, I used only the scraps that I made after making the layouts and after making 2 layouts, 2 double-page layouts. I turned around and did that. But of course, you could use any sentiment that you have. I just so happen to use this one. Let's take a look at another sketch. I think that looks really great. Let's look another sketch here. We have here a simple one here with a tag. So let's go ahead and do that. Move this out of the way. One of the things I've learned to do over the years is always clean up right after you finish one project. Helps you find your stuff again, and glue doesn't get on the wrong places. Okay, so let's go ahead and my paper trimmer. I think I'm going to do things a little bit differently. And cut one off here, 1 inch off. So I did 4 1/4, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to do it folded this way, just to make things a little different. Okay. Should be all right. So we still have. I know I cut 2 of these. Where's the other one? Cleared it too quickly. Here's the other 6x6. Okay. I think I cleaned up too much. I guess so. Okay. Okay, so we have, let's look at some of these. We have one that's shifted to one side. I could probably just use this paper for that. Yep, we just need to trim the bottom, right? We just need to trim the bottom, and I would say about 1 inch. So let's cut 1 inch off. Yep. Okay. That's 1 inch off there. And we have plenty of scraps. This is the time where scraps are really awesome. Okay, so, oops. Remember we have lots of different scraps. Okay, now's the time to use them. So I am going to, oops. I see there's this one, right? If I cut it this, we have this. Oh, we have this. This is going to go like this. There's this. And it looks like there's this, which is a sentiment. I recommend matting it because if not, it's going to look kind of odd. So I'm going to use the gray. Remember we said, all right, so let's go ahead and here's my, this measures 3 inches in width by 5 inches in height, 3 by 5. So that means we need to add a quarter, at least a quarter to all of it. This should be 5 inches. Okay. And, oh, it's a 3 by 5. Wait. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this a little bit shorter. Oh no, I messed up. Okay. So I'll just do 4 3/4. That should be fine. And then 3 1/4 on this one. Okay, so now this is going to get mounted onto this. Okay, and then we need a strip here. So let me, probably no more than 3 inches. And I'm going to cut this to 1 1/2. That looks like it's too thick. 1 1/4. All right, so again, this is going to be 3 inches by 1 1/4. For the sentiment, and this is my card base. These are just scraps. Okay, so let's start gluing these pieces together. I mean, it could go like this, right? And then right, so we could go like this. That's one option. Okay. Or we can use this one with the little boats. I'm going to use the boats. Why not? Because I already did the other pattern. So I'm going to use the boats on this one. Okay, these are how the boats go. So now I'm just going to okay, so just want to make sure it's okay, good. Okay. And what I'm going to do for this one, I know they just have it like so. I personally, which I guess is okay, like this, and then they have it like this, which I never really liked. I like using, I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a V-notch. It just to me looks weird unless I make a V-notch. Oops, there we go. And then we're going to do we're going to stamp the sentiment very quick. I'm also going to use the same one, which is a thank you. Let's get the only reason I'm using Bluebird because it's handy. I would recommend either Lagoon or Journey. Okay, so I'm going to V-notch this because I need to cut this a little bit more there. Much better. Why I'm having trouble doing a notch today. All right, there. Okay, there we go. And then we're just gonna, you could foams dot it, you can do as you wish. Okay. And again, don't don't feel shy to put embellishments on this. Like you could put rhinestones or anything else that you would like. And that is, so we've got two of our sketches done. Okay, and on page 22 is the sketch number 3 and 4. Okay, so this is my version of them, and I hope you enjoyed this. And I wanted to share with you, today is July 31st, which means that you want to make sure you have in your email all your coupons so you can redeem them in the month of August. Um, and I did want to share with you, let me get these out of the way, that there is going to be a special in the month of August from August 31st. August 6th to the 31st, where the designer series paper is going to be on sale. But it's not going to be just any designer's series paper. It's going to be those that are featured in this catalog. There is two exceptions to that, and that is Countryside Inn and I believe is Wildering Flowers. Those are from the previous catalog that they've included. And I don't know if Perennial might, and I think Perennial as well. So the rest are current in this catalog. So we have Bright and Beautiful, Countryside Inn, Country Lace, Country Woods, Full of Life, Lily Pond Lane, Mediterranean Blues, Perennial Lavender, Take to the Skies, Thoughtful Journey, To the Market, Unbound Beauty, Wild Leaf Flowering, and Winter Meadow. So normally they would be $12.50. With the discount, it's going to be $10.62. So you can use your coupon codes to redeem these. Yay! So that stretches your dollars. The second thing is if you join my team or any of your consultants or demonstrators team, you can select these cards at the discounted price. So again, you get to stretch your dollar for you get to stretch your dollars, and you can use your bonus coupons, your bonus day coupons on your starter kit as well. So you can combine these two wonderful, wonderful deals. Okay. The other thing is you'll probably start seeing consultants, or excuse me, demonstrators. They're going to get the sneak preview of what's going to come out in September. Um, there's usually a mini catalog in the fall, and I have actually one of the suites, but I'm not allowed to show it until August the 6th. So please come back to my channel on August 6th so I can share with you one of the suites, holiday suites, um, that I can share with you of some of the projects I've done with products that are going to be featured in the fall. Some Christmas ones, holiday winter theme ones that are really, really lovely. I am so impressed. I am so, so, so very, very impressed. If you don't have a demonstrator, please feel free to look me up. I'm at Frances Ames at stampinup.net. And I look forward to seeing you for the next live, where I want to share with you spring uh, secret garden. This is the layout. Okay, this is the layout. Look how pretty that is. So I made all the embellishments. Okay, the only thing that's new is the die set for the alphabet. But if you have stickers or you've purchased this with the sticker sheet, you don't have to worry about that. What I would recommend if you want to do this, it's actually currently still available on my website under Close to My Heart Products, or CTMH. And you're going to get Secret Garden card kit, okay? And then with the card kit, these are some of the cards that you're going to be able to make. Look how wonderful that is. So I'm going to go a little slower so you guys can see it. Life is beautiful. Smile. Love. So this is a stamp and a thin cut or die set. Okay. You're going to make 16 cards with the card kit, and with what's left over, we're going to make this scrapbook layout with the scraps. Some of it is cardstock that I use, and as you can see, some of it is with pattern paper. The dots are already included in the card kit, so you don't have to pay anything additional for that. So these are the two, and then of course you're going to place your photos there. So this is a secret garden. That's going to be August. So check on our website in the communication or on my blog. I do have those dates. I believe it's, yeah, I don't want to give you the wrong date. I feel like it's August 3rd, but I'm wrong. I could be wrong. So let's just check my blog. And last but not least, the following week, I am going to be featuring paper pumpkin. I recommend you get it. This is gonna be the next one that I'm gonna be working on. The soda pop. Let me show you those papers. It's the least expensive one of the pack, and it comes with its sticker sheet. Okay. So this is the pattern paper. Look how pretty that is. I love it. I'm so excited. Um, Look at that. Okay. So this is soda pop, excuse me. This is soda pop paper packet, and it comes with the sticker sheet. So I'm going to be making scrapbooking pages layout using the sticker sheet. So I'm not going to be using any like stamping dies or anything like that to make the titles. I'm going to be using this sticker sheet to make the scrapbook layout for you. I am going to feature for this stamp set. I don't have the die, I just have the stamp set. It's a clear photopolymer. And when I saw this, I fell in love with this, which is Simply Sparkling. It is a current stamp. The number is 162866. So you can go ahead, and if you want to add this to it, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this in the layouts or I'm going to use this in the cards with the scraps, but I definitely saw this stamp set and I fell in love with it, and I thought that combining these two would make a lot of sense. So this is also going to be in August. What else am I going to feature in August? Well, we know in August 6th, I'm going to be showing one of the Christmas paper suites, one of the holiday suites, and I will be sharing some of my, let me see here. My goal is to do a workshop featuring iconic, so I'm just showing you some of my holiday cards that I started to work on. These are in the current, under the exclusive one. I made this for swap. And this one's a pull-out card. This is my rough copy. Okay. And let's see here. I usually put things here. Here we go. This is also using iconic. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is. So this is all using iconic, the iconic paper. That's an exclusive right now. It's a 6x6 paper, and I'm going to be making cards for a year. So I'm going to use cards for a year. So I'm going to feature a specific stamp set, and I'm going to use the paper packet so we can make cards for an entire year. So that is going to be coming in August. Okay, you're going to see some holidays. You're going to see some other things. You're going to see Simply Sparkling, which is nothing to do with holidays. You're going to see this lovely set, which is Secret Garden, and a few others. I'm going to still do a few others in here, featuring some of these papers. And then every month from August on, you're going to see some holiday cards because we can't wait to the last minute, right, to make cards. So I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. And please check out my blog at francisames.com/paper crafts. You can go to my link tree at Francis Ames and has all of the information there for me on how you can reach me on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, my blog, my Stampin' Up website. And I hope to see you next week, or yeah, next week here on this channel. Thank you so much. Have a great night.